task force is being formed right now. And as to what we would ask for all of you to do, you can, if you have a few hours a week, come join us. There's a meeting every Wednesday at noon. There's a meeting once a month here. Got tons of stuff for you to do if you want to volunteer. And if you would please join Rod, either in Facebook or just online, and because each one of you counts. We've got 3,300 now. Like to get 5,000 by the end of the year. Once we get up into that 10,000 range, it'll help tremendously. So if you could sign up, get your family members to sign up. Doesn't matter whether they're 8 years old or 30 or 88. And that'd be great. Thanks so much.
My goal is 5,000 by January 1. So if each one of you can please get 30 people to sign up on Facebook or sign up on www.reclaimingourdowntown.org and go into our Facebook, if nothing else, to look at the pictures and all of the history.
All right, I got to add to this. So, all right, and thank you, great job, both of you
I
guys.
don't know any details. We gotta get, this guy and Rod.
Yeah, if you guys, if anybody has questions, ask them. No, go for it. On and knows, everybody knows everything. But what we found out in the last couple of days is the task force is an incredible thing, because when we first went into planning, we said we met a whole bunch of urban planners, and the successful downtowns were done through task force and then a precise plan with form-based code. And that actually helps the developers be a little less anxious about starting to build.
Parade of Champion guy, and he is going to speak a little bit on the Parade of Champions and the latest news on that. So, Rod. Yes, hi, Dan. Hi, Dan.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Rod.
All right. I'm Rod Dunham. I'm the co-founder of Reclaiming Our Downtown. Fourth generation, yada yada, from Santa Clara. Part of the Santa Clara's greatness, and how many of you, first of all, are Santa Clarans that live here in Santa Clara? Remember Santa Clara? So we have a lot of Santa Clarans. Well, part of Santa Clara is that all the cities around the country and in the Bay Area, a lot of Bay Area cities have traditions. Well, Santa Clara has had many traditions over the years, dating back to the turn of the century, of the 19th century to the 20th century. I think there was a total of about 10 parades they would have a year through the community. But you're talking the community was about 3,000 people that grew to 6,000 by World War II, and after that it expanded to 9, 10, up to 60,000 by the 50s, and then of course today where we're at 124, 125,000, believe it or not. But with that increase in population, you would think that the traditions would stay with it, right? Somebody would carry it on. Well, Larry Marsali, who founded the Santa Clara Parade of Champions, was the last of the great parades in Santa Clara. He ran it for 50 years. Mr. Ed Cunha and his wife, Bea, who is still with us, as well as Mrs. Marsali is still with us, and we're very blessed to have them. But one of the things is the parade stopped 25 years ago. But traditions were very important to Santa Clara, and that I knew very much. And so getting the Parade of Champions started again was very important, because it's like, well, what do we have that actually people remember? And it's something that ran for 50 years. It was actually the original, it was called the Columbus Day Parade. And then right after World War II, it was Larry Marsali and Ed Cunha named it the Parade of Champions. And local VFWs had their drum corps, drum and bell corps all over the Bay Area would come out. The Santa Cruz, there was just all over the Bay Area would show up right here in Santa Clara. And that is why we've started the Reclaiming Downtown group, Santa Clara. It's because it's bringing community back together into a single spot. Now, it's great to have an online site, which is wonderful. It's like town halls all over. You just pop on. We've been able to collect, and this gentleman right here, Bob Emerson, He is a great historian. He's been able to provide many great photos of the past for not only Santa Clara, but all over through the Bay Area. But it was awesome. That's what got me involved in this. Mr. Emerson, I was looking on a Facebook site called, do you know, what is it called? I guess you're from Santa Clara when, I think?
Right.
Yeah, it's a Facebook group. And I typed on like, because I had heard what the downtown looked like. I had heard, oh, there was a downtown here. Because when you drive through, other than the mall, you really wouldn't know. You really wouldn't know that there was a downtown here. So there was really no there. We've actually, I drove down to Sacramento to the state capitol last week and received documents that we're now incorporated as an organization, the Parade of Champions, Santa Clara Parade of Champions. And I made sure, at one time it was the YMI Parade of Champions. Yes. It's exciting. You know, you go to the state, it was the Secretary of State's office right there right across from the state capitol. And you go in and, you know, it's really simple. But we're incorporated, which we need to become a 501, I believe it's 3C. And yeah, to be a nonprofit, so we can start getting donations, so we can get this thing off the ground. Because at last, which is 1995, and this is Larry Marsali and his wife, they were parishioners at Santa Clara, at St. Clair, which I am. And I would ask him, I just asked him, what happened? This a few years back. What happened to the parade? He goes, well, it just got too expensive to run. So I think the last budget in $1995, I think it was upwards of about $75,000. So you can imagine what that is in terms of numbers today. However, that said, we have the right people lined up, so we're excited. And so we know we're projecting as early as this fall, believe it or not. We're being very aggressive because we're lining. We have some amazing people, a part of our core group. You've already met Dan Ottersack, the co-founder, as well as Mary Grizzle, and we have Karen Artizzoni, and we have we also have Anna Vargas Smith over there. She's the president of the Parade of Champions, or the vice president. We've created this board of directors. It's very, very exciting. So the Parade of Champions, I want to bring it back to its core, where it kind of down Monroe Street. This building across the street is the downtown gateway building. And you haven't seen the plans for it. We're really not part of it. However, we do know the architect that went in and made sure that things will look nice. It's going to be a beautiful building once it's done. A lot different actually than what you see on the El Camino right now. So it's going to be nice. The parade will come right through, make a left onto Benton, and either go down Madison and end up at the Park Plaza, which is the first park of Santa Clara. So we're very excited about that. Anyway, I've talked too much, but I just want to thank you very much and look forward to keeping this tradition for this generation and many generations to come. Thank you.
The Parade of Champions is the catalyst to bring in the downtown. And our group, Reclaiming Our Downtown, is bringing back quite a few things into the area to introduce people, to bring people into the downtown. This December, on December 8th, this group here is the classic cars.
Rod and Wheelers.
Rod and Wheelers. They
Nothing
are
to do with
gonna
Rod
have-
Reclaiming Our Downtown. They're the hot rods. But it just worked out that way. It's pretty
They
cool.
are going to be in conjunction with the classic home tour. They're going to be driving from home, the historical home tour. No, go ahead.
The Parade of Champions originally was sponsored by the Young Men's Institute of Santa Clara, and it was actually called the YMI Parade of Champions. And I'm sure that kind of rings a bell with everyone, I'm sure. Yeah, unfortunately, that organization just became either, I don't know the complete story.
They weren't too old, they were in their 90s.
So they were not the Old Men Institute, they were the Old Men Institute, and I guess became just the Men's Institute. So that's why I wanted to make sure that Santa Clara was in front of the Parade of Champions, that we've had the buy-in from the now current world champion Santa Clara Vanguard, which we are very excited about, the Santa Clara Vanguard, and the Santa Clara Vanguard Cadets. So the feeder corps into the world-class corps, they were world champions as well. So we are truly a champion city, but it's been 25 years since the Vanguard has actually been, no, they're kind of doing their amazing thing, but it's like behind closed doors. So this will be the first time in a quarter century that they get back into the community and are able to perform, and for a whole new generation of children, and I know in the middle schools and the schools, to be able to see that group march down the street is going to be quite amazing for them. So it's very cool. There's a lot of great things to bring the community together with the parade, Boy Scouts, just everything. The amazing soccer we have here in the city, having a float on, with them in it. I know the Thunderbirds have a group, the classic Thunderbirds, actually in the Los Gatos Christmas parade. So we're trying to bring all the elements that make Santa Clara and Prior Santa Clara what it is today. So thank you, Mary. Thank you for bringing it up.
So I have a fun item to talk about tonight. Esther's from the Santa Clara Women's League, and I'm from Reclaiming Our Downtown. We decided spontaneously did I say that right? That we should have the first annual holiday classic car cruise in Santa Clara on December 7th and December 8th. So we have a large group of fans here tonight, and everyone is so excited. All the feedback is like, how do we get our car? Where are we meeting? So I just wanted to make sure that we met most everyone tonight. Dwayne says he's got a few more people who want to join, so that's going to be pretty impressive.
Awesome.
The idea is that anyone with a car younger than 1975 who's willing to maybe put some antler ears on it, maybe a Santa draped across the hood, I don't know, something festive, and just meet us on December 8th and 7th in the parking lot over at Trogo's, which I just found is a classic car hangout meetup here in Santa Clara, and we'll take off from there. I did pass out the maps that Esther put together. They're pretty clear. If everyone has any questions, Esther's the gal.
The map is actually, we're going to parade, where all the historical homes are on the tour this year. And the parade will go and by all of those houses, and that's going to be the cruise.
So it's a Friday night, Saturday, is what you're saying?
We're going to find out.
Saturday only. So Dwayne.
Saturday only. Okay, got it.
Dwayne is from Rods and Wheelers Club Car.
president
We
of
have
the
the
Rod and
Outcasts here tonight as well, and some independent classic car owners over here, Betty and Marilyn and Rui, and so they're going to bring their fancy cars out. Also tonight we have Nancy Biagini, who's the co-chair for the Historic Home Tour. Nancy, please stand.
So great that the classic cars are going to be out. It's like the beginning of another kind of holiday tradition that we can build on. So wonderful.
Anyway, the opportunity baskets, the money that we get from that goes to support the health and wellness program of the senior center. And then I believe the money for the tickets goes to
There's
several.
Nancy.
What happens with the Historic Home Tour is we get income, I guess from ticket sales and from sponsors. And at the end, when it's all done, the docents that volunteer, the homeowners, everybody gets together for a little dinner, and they vote on which nonprofits that are related in some fashion to historical preservation in Santa Clara, and we split the money that we raise to those groups. So between the Women's League and the Historical Home Tour, there are also fundraisers that, hey, when you guys incorporate, right?
That's right.
You can, I know who I'm going to be voting for who should get some of the Historical Home Tour donations. So it really does go to a good cause, and I'll just put our pitch in right now. Every year that Historical Home Tour grows, you can get tickets right over there at City Lights, or you can go online. We want to exceed, last year was 600 tickets that we sold. Wow. So that money, again, will go to those areas that people vote on that preserve Santa Clara history.
How long has it been, Nancy?
You know what? That's a good question. I don't know the answer. Over 20 years. No, I know what it is, because this is our 40th anniversary.
Wow.
So for anybody who knows anybody that lives in a historic home in the old quad that might be a little tentative, I don't know if I want people, let me know, because we'll be recruiting for next year's home tour, and the volunteers on the home tour committee help clean up, decorate for the holidays and the rest. We're always looking for new homes. So
All
I'm
about
done.
good cheer. Yeah.
President of the Rod and Wheelers, and we have 250 members plus. And we are international. We're not just here. But what we're trying to set up here is we have a Toys for Tots run early Saturday morning on December 8th, downtown San Jose. Then we go to Sacred Heart, we drop off food. And then after that, we're going to try and set up so we can bring a lot of cars over here to the parking lot. We're going to have several guys here already, Mark, Mike, Ramsey, and Steve. They're going to be here already, and we're going to kind of file in. Then we're going to do 2 cruises. We're going to set up, so we do a cruise at 2, come back, park, have the people come through, look at the cars, and then we're going to do a cruise at 4, come back, and then we'll disperse at 5. So that's what we're trying to set up right now. I don't know how many cars I'm going to get.
Pass the word.
And it also depends on weather, because if it's raining, I'm sorry, we won't be here.
It's weather permitting.
But this is what we're planning, and hopefully it'll all work out.
First in.